Good evening, folks. Another week, another live stream. If you're wondering, we aren't actually racing until 7:30, so in about 25 minutes time. So you've got time to go and do whatever it is you need to do. If you're here just for the effort, then you have 25 minutes. I do want to make sure I get a nice warm up in. For once. Oh, thank you, Josh. Just getting ready for some warm weather. Plus, I get really bad eczema on my scalp, so yeah, helps. Look at this. I had to take the front front derailleur off the gravel bike, the Shimano GRX. The motor's gone kaput, I think. It's not shifting. Diagnostics isn't saying anything. It's just making very strange noises. So it's under warranty. It's going to go back and hopefully get a replacement. So it is indeed miserable. It's horrendous up here. Down here, rather. Yeah. Although this morning was fine. This morning was fine. Bring back cables. At the rate I used to snap gear cables, I'm actually now that I've converted, I don't think I would ever go back. I'd have to say. Hey Phil. Hey I'm looking forward to that then, when I don't need haircuts. Okay, I want to warm up. I've got 23 minutes. I did want a longer warm up. I got to be honest, but it is what it is. Different attitude tonight. I'm gonna go at the gate harder than I have done for the other time trials. I'm gonna go out harder than I think I can sustain for the whole 17 kilometers. I think it's 17 kilometers this race. I'm not gonna bother with air helmet. No, forget it. I'll just ride a time trial bike and yeah, make sure that my training difficulty is low so I can just power through it. And yeah, sorry I haven't got the chat up for a second. I'm just trying to get a thing ready. So yeah, I think going out hot or hotter than usual is my plan tonight, because the last couple of weeks where we've been doing these sort of time trials, I haven't been going out as hard and I've been finishing very strong. If you've seen any of those live streams, I have something like 400 watts for the last 2 or 3 minutes still left in the tank. So idea tonight is to go out a little bit harder, a little bit less conservative, and then not so much not have anything left at the end, but yeah, just basically just start harder. That's the overarching goal. So your support in the chat will be even more needed tonight, because no doubt I will be in a world of pain from an earlier stage. All right, connect the headphones. Evening, Keith. Evening, Tom. Rob. $400 for 17k. It don't. Well, we'll see. I don't think it'll be 400 watts. You never know. You never know. Right. Okay. Let's get on and warm up. Let's get on and warm up. Just ride, start ride. Okay. 20 minutes of warm up. Well, I certainly think if I could do 380, then I'll be happy with that, Josh. So, I'm gonna have to commit to that big time. Can you hear it? It's actually just a playlist, and I found it on YouTube, and I've just stuck with it. Not long, I hope, Emma. Yeah, it was quite low, Josh. To be fair, these headphones are quite loud. Loud enough, anyway. Yeah, I think you can, Gareth, yeah. Oh, no, you can't, no. Because it's not actually on the stream, is it? Yeah. Yeah, that is true, Josh. Ah. Yeah, if it was coming through the speaker, Gareth, and it was like songs that were copyrighted, yeah. Although if they were non-copyrighted songs, then yeah, they'd be fine. Hey, evening, Niall. I haven't thought about looking, Emma. I use Epidemic. No, thank you, Niall. I gotta stick to my own power anyway, haven't I? So it would be irrelevant if I had someone to chase or not. That's the beauty of a time trial. Any plans for the bank holiday? Bike ride. It's one of them Josh Towell then, it must be. Oh, nice, Phil. Send out congrats. Only the beginning, I'm sure. Everyone from Wales is, Josh. Yeah, we started 12 minutes in. 7:30. Yeah, you missed it all, Ian. It could be Luke Rowe. Yeah, very good shout. Thank you, Phil. More to come. Am I seeing improvement in my climbing with those leg strength workouts? Do you mean the gym? Well, to be 100% truthful with you, I haven't been massively consistent with it. I've been going maybe once a week. However, because I'm someone that hasn't done any, like ever in his life really, then I would still say yes, I have seen a difference. But again, I can't really speak much about it because I haven't done anything very intense. That climb I did a couple of days ago. I did the video with the camera on my chest, POV. That's the first effort I've done really. That's max. Well, not max, but harder than FTP. I know obviously we've been doing time trials and technically they're over FTP, but in terms of like duration, short. That's the first real effort we've done over FTP that's been less than 20 minutes. So I can't really say for sure, but I would still say yes. The worst case scenario, it doesn't change anything in terms of performance, but it will aid my maybe it'll aid my posture. Maybe it'll just aid the recruitment of other things. So not necessarily directly contributing to performance, but yeah. We'll see, it's, we'll time will tell, really. How long is this year's course? I think it's nearly 4 kilometers. Nearly 4 kilometers at about 8%. I might be wrong, because I'm just trying to go off memory. But it has a big flat section, like almost a minute, almost 2 minutes of flat, slightly downhill, which is almost identical to the one I won in 2019. Oh, Niall, there's another one as well. There is another one, which is also quite good. I need to find a link and put it on Discord. It's just as good as Tom's, but it's just something. It's just a different. It's a different like. It looks different, so it might. Some people might prefer it. But the critical power testing. I found to be very accurate. Niall has just claimed it's also accurate, and there's a bunch of people I know who've tried it, and they've had the same outcome. So it's pretty. How does it work? It's basically you test 3 areas. I've done it. I've done videos in the past where I've tested my critical power. I think it was hill climb season last year. So how it is, there's a 3-minute effort, a 5-minute effort, and you can do a 12-minute effort, but generally speaking, it could be 12 to 16 minutes. Niall's just said 16 minutes. Because generally you won't have much of a drop off in those ranges anyway, but you plug those into a spreadsheet, and then it gives you a little bit of information back. And your critical power is basically what it estimates to be the power you can hold for whatever duration you put in. So if you know there's going to be a climb that's going to be 8 minutes and 30 seconds, but you've never done that duration in obviously the 3, 5 and 12 minute test, it'll spit out the number, and the number is pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. Now obviously that is really useful for hill climb efforts, but it can be very useful for, you know, this time trial tonight. It would probably, you know, if I did a 12-minute effort of 390 for example, it could tell me that I'm capable of doing 379 for 20, you know, and it would generally be quite accurate. It's actually got a 4 number system as well, so 3, 5, 12, and if you've got the time to do it, you can do 20 minutes, but obviously, you know, it doesn't really change how accurate the data is much in my experience, but it does change it slightly. Okay, I need to move my fan a bit. So if you just joined, doing a 16-kilometre time trial, London Classique, in honour of the King, or Queen. I'm planning on going a lot harder in the first 5 minutes of this ride than I have done in previous. So pray for me. You know, I don't know how it's going to work out, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to dig myself into a fairly big hole early on and see what we can muster up from there. It'll obviously feel harder than the others, purely because the others I've ridden myself into them, and so, you know, mentally it's a lot easier to suffer for those last couple of minutes than it is to like start hard and then kind of, you know, you have to suffer through the majority of it because you've set your stall out early. So it's probably going to be within the, like 20, what are you saying guys, like 20, 22 minutes. It's pretty flat, this one. Maybe you can tell me in the chat, keep me updated with how I'm doing in terms of speed when I get to that halfway point, or maybe when I get to the quarter point, what my sort of estimated time is for this effort, because that'll really help me mentally. If I know I'm on for like a 20-21 minute, then it'll be a lot easier to just, you know, focus on a number for that time. So yeah, it'd be awesome if you can update me on that, but we'll see. The thing is, like, I may start hard and I may realise that I'm on a good day, so I have no idea. You know, we'll see. I might be on a bad day, but we won't know. One more minute. Thank you for the good lucks. We're not starting yet. Wait for it. Here we go. Yeah. Oh. So, it goes to show that if you start harder, sometimes you can do a personal best, but also it does mean you're on the absolute ragged edge much earlier. I don't need to tell you that. Oh my word. I can't even see properly now. Thank you. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Thank you everybody. Thank you, Phil. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mason, LB, Emma, LB, Phil, Josh, Crapolano Fridge, Ben. Thank you. Let's have a look and see if it was. I mean, let me just get this out of the way first. But this this Wahoo Kickr V6, it does read a little bit higher than my old turbo trainers and my outdoor power meter. So take it with a pinch of salt. It's probably about 10 watts, but you know, we are where we are. So hopefully that was a good watch. Thank you for the support, because you know, you could see, as Ian said, perceived effort was very high, very high, and I literally could hardly do anything other than concentrate on the effort in front of me. But here we are. What is my threshold heart rate? It's around about 170, around about that. It really depends. In my best ever shape, it was just below 170, more like 16, anywhere between 165, 175, whatever kind of condition I'm in. That's generally a good, a safe bet. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Shame about the heart rate graph there. Oh my word. Yes, indeed, Mason. Watts can vary on the day as well. I think we always take it with a pinch of salt, because even though a power meter could overread, you know, you could go out the next day and your legs could be absolutely crap, and your legs are under reading. So yeah, still pretty well paced. I think I did the best 5-minute power in that first section. But yeah, like that's very smooth there, from 13 minutes all the way out to 21 minutes. Very smooth, and near enough a best ever. Here we go. 366. Whoa, 366. So that's an FTP of 6 watts per kilo. Well, plus or minus 0.1, so between 5.9 and 6. So, whoa, get it. So a quick look at the graph again. I did 5 minutes at 393. That would certainly have been the first 5 minutes where I set off to, you know, go to controlled but still a hard pace, a harder pace than the normal, with a hope that I wouldn't finish as strong, but I think we can safely say I still found something at the end in that last 1.5 kilometers. I think I still had something left, but you know, I can only take so much credit. You know, when I just glance to my left and I see the chat every so often, and I see, you know, you shouting like only 1k to go and all that, it is, I have to say, it is very motivating. And it makes me feel like I'm in a race and people are cheering, so it's a pretty it's a weird world. But yeah, it's that first 5 minutes, and then I settled into something that wouldn't sort of elevate my heart rate too much. In fact, my heart rate ended up dropping by 2 or 3 beats, and then I started to raise it again. But more just to kind of test the water as it goes there, a lot more red, and back to yellow again. So a bit like over and under. And this block of red here is kind of interesting. In my head, I was like, I think I can go long and like try and like ramp it up from here. And that didn't happen. I had to back off a little bit here because I realized that I'd gone a little bit too deep here. My heart rate was almost getting up to 180, and like in the shape I'm in now, which is I'm starting to get, you know, near enough my best shape at certain things. You know, when people get worried sometimes, you know, when you say like, you know, I'm coming into my best form, and we used to have this joke all the time. We used to say, oh, you're peaking too soon. But you can have peak shape, peak form, but in different areas, you know. And I'm coming into where my usual peak fitness is, but I haven't even touched upon, you know, some of the kind of intervals and efforts I want to do that are really going to kind of hopefully push me over and above it this year. You know, we're going to try and go, you know, beyond where we have been before. You know, I've got 10 years of riding behind me now. And I'm starting to reach the age where, you know, things, I might have another breakthrough. You know, we go through periods of our life where in sport we have peaks and troughs, and you get to a certain age in sport as well, and you can certainly peak. So I'm in that mindset now where I'm like, I'm getting to that age where I've got enough riding behind me that potentially this year, and maybe the next 4 years, maybe, who knows? But I'm putting a lot of eggs into the basket. And seeing what I am capable of, and hopefully this is like the starting point a little bit. You know, doing these a bit more routinely is certainly helping me massively, and giving me that little bit of an edge as well. So yeah, things are going well so far. It's very easy to read the chat. I've been doing it long enough. I could definitely read the chat. Any more road races on the calendar? Yes, I want to do. There was supposed to be a local one this weekend actually, but it got cancelled because of low entries, which is a blinking shame. But yes, I'm a little bit busy for the next couple of months, but I know in August there's a couple of road races, which I used to do. And maybe I'll support them, but if I can fit any in, but like this, you know, the summer seems to be quite busy now, which is really nice. You know, I'm not complaining at all. So, my zone 2 speed on the road must be 21 mile an hour. Well, that's a good point actually. Ian. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still producing fairly low watts. You know, I think. You know, I'm producing. Yeah, okay. Obviously, you might take offence to what I just said. I don't mean that. I don't mean to be offensive at all. Thank you, Phil. Cheers for coming, buddy. Thank you, Emma. Cheers. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. If I don't hear from either of you, speak to either of you rather. No, when I'm riding outdoors, I only tend to ride at like 150 to like 200 watts if I'm doing just general zone 2 work. Well, not zone 2 work, just general endurance work. General steady riding. I don't tend to ride harder than that, and of course 150 to 200 watts, that maybe only gets you like 18 mile an hour. I don't average 21 mile an hour on any of my rides. The only time I average 21 mile an hour is if it's pan flat and if there's no wind. But I also think as well that it's quite hilly around here, and I'll be hard pushed to ride 21 mile an hour in general. I think maybe like you've given me like a bit of a rant, not a rant. You've given me a nice way to end this live stream, and that's to talk about how having lots of power doesn't necessarily mean I ride at high power, or having high power like that now doesn't necessarily mean I ride at high power. Here's a little story for you. Keith might still be watching, and he can sort of back me up on this. But basically, Keith is a local rider, and he borrowed my bike box and he went out to Mallorca a couple of weeks ago, and he bumped into somebody and at the cafe, and they said to him, "Oh, your accent, you sound Welsh." And he was like, yeah, I'm from, well, he said Swansea, because that's the nearest area that like, to us, that I suppose people know. And they were like, so you live, like, you know, the Black Mountains? And Keith was like, yeah, how do you know that? And he was like, I've got relatives that live in that area, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, do you know a Laverack? And Keith was like, yeah, I'm going out riding with him on Saturday, actually, when we get back from Mallorca. And then, like, the chap looked at him, like, almost a little bit, like, surprised that, you know, Keith, who, if you're still there, Keith, in the chat, probably not now. Keith is, you know, in his 50s, come back to cycling after spending his youth cycling a lot, and took a massive break, now come back into cycling. And, Keith comes out on our group rides on the weekend, and, you know, I think maybe the idea is that I wouldn't ride at 150 watts with people who have, you know, 250 watt FTPs, for example. But the truth is, I always have done. I always have ridden with people who have much lower FTPs than me. I just fit it in with my training, basically, because I always believe that you should have that social aspect. You know, and this, in a way, is a little bit like a social aspect, but in real life, you know, it's very important to me, and it always has been. So that's another story to end on. It's a bit of a tangent, but we've cracked this effort, absolutely over the moon. I'll have to change the title of this video now, but wow, I'm a little bit cooked. But thank you all for watching. You're all absolute stars. I appreciate every one of you. So thank you for tuning in. Pierre, I'm sorry. You're a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much, everyone. I will catch you soon.